Boom. Welcome back to another episode of Ravens Roundup. And today is Monday, April the 3rd. We got past April Fool's Day Saturday. Um, got a good show for you. We got the gangs out here, everybody. So let's start to bring everybody in and go from there. What's wrong with my screen? Anyway, first up, Chris, what's good?
What's going on, Coach? Thank you once again for having me on. I'm excited to always chop it up with the fellas.
Appreciate it. Draft season is fastly ending. So we got a lot of that stuff coming up. Maybe not on this show, but just for the future. Next up, we're gonna bring in Hendo. What's good, Hendo?
Oh, what's going on? Appreciate you having me here. Just want to let everybody know any problems we have is because of Brandon Bozell. Caused everything.
What being DNA?
Hey, he just bumping his gums as always. In the chat, talking about why y'all late. We on CPT time and all that other stuff. His usual. But you know what? I don't mean to just derail the show or anything. But just to let y'all know, I'm gonna spill the beans. Brandon Bozell is coming out with his own channel soon.
Ooh, you a habitual bean spiller.
My bad.
You ain't stepping the line. You're a habitual bean still. What is it?
I'm a habitual
bean
line
spiller.
stepper. I'm a line stepper. I step across that line.
You don't erase the line. You just step all the way over, or do you erase it with your toes?
Nah, you know how you scrape your shoe across the ground just to erase it. You gotta let them know you was there.
Like what MP did in the Tennessee. Yeah.
Facts.
What up, Mike?
Man, it was me. All right. I was late.
Don't tell him nothing. No one for all for one.
That's how much of a team player I am. I see y'all coming at my man Hendo. It was me. All right. What up, people? I'm back this week, man. Happy to be here.
The gang's all here. And last but definitely not least, Jose and B.
Don't mind me. I'm just enjoying some ice cold water from this Ravens Roundup cup.
Everybody. I got the smoothie in the chalice today.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh, Mike. Okay, Mike. I see you. Got the little frost. That's the perfect pour right there. That's the perfect pour. Where the vegan water at?
Where the vegan water at? Listen, somebody let the grandbaby get the cup.
Oh
No, ain't nothing wrong with it. When she get a hold of stuff, she don't like letting it go.
It's hers now.
Oh.
Pretty much. I gotta get another one. I gotta purchase another one because it's pretty much hers.
But the thing about that is it's tough to purchase. Well, you know how to purchase another. You know how to purchase another. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
You can get a mug. But you know what's better than one mug?
Two
mugs.
Like Jay-Z say, you know what's better than one billionaire?
Two.
But most of the young folks ain't gonna get that one. Everybody drinking on the job. Who said we was drinking? What are you talking about?
And I'll have Baza and everybody else that said we were late. We were not late. Okay, we were here on time. We were just giving you guys time to smash that like button. Okay, and tell all your friends and loved ones to subscribe. That's what that extra 4 to 5 minutes is right there. It's for you guys.
Exactly, it is. That's for you to go tell a friend that the show about to start.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
Get settled, get your popcorn, whatever it is you munching on.
Let me see. Somebody said they had they done Julio and they was just ready chilling. That's the kind of crowd I'm talking about.
There we go.
They shot it down Julio and they was just chilling. Who said that? I'm trying to go back up to the top. Somebody.
Don Julio. Ooh, okay.
That's that good
on a Monday night.
Hey,
I like what your stream last.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Malik B said that. Which one?
About
Lamar.
Lamar wants 230 million guaranteed. I just want to like.
That's
there
it.
You go.
I just want to like. Just hit the like button. Appreciate it. All right. First topic. Let's get into it.
Let's go. Tight 45.
On Monday.
Tight 45.
Maybe. Well, I have a question. I didn't put this on it, and I have a question. We'll get into it when we get to that. I don't want to derail us and go from tight 45 to tight out 45. All right, guy. We always gonna start the show with Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Namely because he's the news. The news. And so, still this back and forth going with contract situation. And I really just want to get everybody's opinion about what they think he should do. Like, if you were him, if you were in his shoes, what approach would you take as far as getting out or getting a new deal or just letting it ride out and see? Let's start with you, Chris.
I think at the end of the day, I think he's going to signing the tag and playing. I don't see the Ravens trading him. I don't see a team, doing that. There's a list of teams that's dumb for not wanting to, snag up a young former MVP who probably going to be entering his prime soon. But we all know what's going on when it comes to that. So yeah, I think he's going to have no choice but to be on the Ravens, in my opinion, unless he just sits out. But I'm hoping they can do an extension for, especially from what Rappaport said today, where it seems like Lamar doesn't hate the Ravens. He's just trying to find his way to that contract. So
Gotcha.
Hopefully that's true. I mean, you always got to take these reports with a grain of salt, but hopefully that's true, and they could find some kind of happy medium.
Gotcha. Before we go on, I want to, tell my showmates that, remember, typing in the chat box get your loyalty points up, because somebody accused me of not giving all the information.
You did not.
Information out there.
You did not.
And so I did not. True, I did not. So if you're not speaking and you want to,
hop on in,
mingle with the people in the chat, that's how you get your loyalty points up. That's that thing right there. All right. Hendo, what you think about 8 and what he should do?
Now, like you said if I was Lamar,
if you was Lamar,
it's a wrap. It's done. Listen, if I was Lamar advising him, I would tell him, yeah, you sitting out till week 7. If they don't get anything moving after the trades, because after the draft, because I don't think anybody's going to do anything before the draft, because they want to keep their first round picks for this year and make their selections. For me, just sitting back, it's like, I'm a little bit lukewarm on this team, because they've shown that they have a propensity to not believe in me. They've shown me year after year that they would rather go out and hype up the defense, which at times has faltered, and they still haven't learned their lesson. I've shown you that we get to the playoffs, we average 13 points a game. We cannot score, but you go out and get more defense. Now, we are at an impasse when it comes to this contract situation. And what do? You tell the world, hey, man, this Lamar situation jamming me up. I can't go out and get wide receivers. But then you make a play for Darius Slay.
Right.
Make that make sense. So now what you're doing is you're making me look even stupider in the media. You're making me look like a freaking fool that I'm staying loyal to a team that has nothing but animosity toward me because I'm not playing their game. I've given up my body, my soul to the city, this team, this fan base, and everybody's turning on me. So why am I in a hurry to sign a deal to play for a team that really doesn't want me? Now, yes, you went out and got Todd Monken. You told the world you were going to keep me in the know, get my opinion, or ask how I felt about the situation. Then afterwards, you're going to come out and say, well, yeah, we're going to keep abreast of things. We're just going to let him know what we're doing. Of course he's going to know. It comes out in the media. So for all of these things that the Ravens have not done for him, I would sit out and force their hand, because regardless of when he signs that tender, that $32 million sits on that salary cap.
Yep.
Which limits them from making moves. And somebody could sign away Tyler Huntley tomorrow. Yep. So what happens then is, who's your starting quarterback? What are you going to do weeks 1 through 7? Then when I come back, I'm not automatically going to start, because I'm not going to be in football shape. I'm not going to know the playbook. I probably won't start until week 13 or so. So what are you going to do with those first 13 games?
Pray.
Exactly. So I'm going to force your hand.
Gotcha. Mike?
I'm playing it the way he playing it now, man. I'm just letting this thing ride out. Let's see. If we playing poker, we playing chess, whatever you want to do. Let's just play the game. Right now, I mean, he's not. He knows 32 million is there, right? Mm-hmm. So he's not gonna get anything less than that. To Hendo's point, the Ravens are kind of handcuffed on what kind of moves they can make outside of that, unless they do some more restructuring or whatever.
Are they? They would have tried to get Slay for about $14 million a year. Are they handcuffed?
I mean, well, we'll see. Look, I'm sure they would have had to do some moving and shaking to make that happen too. But either way, right? He still holds a good bit of the leverage here.
Yeah, we still ain't did no cap restructuring either, have we? Anybody? The two main guys I think were potential cap restructure deals were Ronnie and Marlo. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't nothing bullshit.
As always, the same two every year.
Gotcha. They got the biggest contracts though, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they can redo Roquan as well. They can restructure his deal and get. It's a bunch of people that they can redo possibly, but we'll see.
Gotcha.
But yeah, round it out, man. Let's just see how it play out. I mean, I agree with what Chris said too. I don't think it's hate yet. You know what I mean? But you still a fine line, right? It can get that way. It will get to where I want to be. It can become that. So, but he's playing it perfectly, man. He's staying cool. He's staying calm for the most part. He dropping a nugget here or there. He's just going on about his day. So I keep it up that way.
Jose?
Man, speaking of Ronnie and Marlo and Roquan, if I'm Lamar, right, since these owners want to collude, I get those guys together and say, listen, don't restructure. They can't cut you, right? Don't restructure. Don't help them out. Don't help them out. If they want to play this game, if they come to you and say, hey, we need some money to fill out the rest of this team, you tell them no, right? And that'll put them in the bind. And then, like Mikey said, just chill. But look, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if talking about if this were me, we talked about this on the show. This is why I couldn't be an athlete because the first that first 10 million that cleared in my bank account, you'd have seen the last of Jose. It'd have been. You guys ever seen Bruce's Millions? It'd been Bruce's Millions time. Practice. You talking about practice?
It's like I got my money and I was out.
I wouldn't have made it to this contract. So salute to Lamar, man. Like I said, man, he's 24 years old. I think he's showing a lot of professionalism, man. And when athletes show their professionalism, fans don't like that, right? But I think what he's doing right now is great, and I agree with Mikey, man. Just chill. Mikey is a master negotiator, right? If you ever had to negotiate with Mikey will make you sweat by saying very little.
You know what, Jose? I forgot I had this idea this weekend, and next week I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. So 3 of us are gonna be on one side of the fence. 3 of us gonna be on the other side of the fence.
Oh, okay.
And we gotta make this deal work.
Okay.
This deal work.
So
since I'm just gonna say, since Mikey's the negotiator, so anybody else want to go to Mike right now?
Look, my cheap move is getting up and walking out now.
I'm all on board with that one too.
He does it so smooth.
Whether it's strong or not, now I could be deep down inside breaking down like, damn, I hope they buy this. But it's a move.
Yeah. Rodney?
If it were me, I would tell the Ravens I have no intention of playing for them ever again, and basically try to force them to move on, because whether or not they move on the money, like everybody said, they've shown that they don't really have an interest in building the offense. Like I saw somebody asking if they made a move for Odell. Yeah, they offered him a contract. They've been interested in a lot of people and haven't gotten it done.
Facts.
So you don't get credit for making an offer. You get credit for signing. But they haven't done it. They've signed Nelson Aguilar, right? They signed DeMarcus Robinson. They signed Deshaun Jackson. They signed Des Bryant. So the fact that you had Greg Roman there for the entire 5 years. He was there in the rookie year. Well, he just wasn't the coordinator. But the fact that you kept him there for the entire 5 years, even though that offense wasn't working, and only now when Lamar has a little bit of a leverage on his side, are you even pretending to try and make anything move on the offensive side? I'm not trusting you to keep that going after the contract is signed. So I'm demanding a trade from Baltimore.
Me personally, if I was him, just let it ride. Like you said, just let them sweat, and kind of see what happens. Because honestly, he really don't have much to lose. The worst thing that could happen to him is for a different Snoop to show up, a competent, winning quarterback Snoop to show up. That's the only thing that can hurt him. Now, what's the chance of that happening?
Zero.
Slim to none. Slim to none. But that, that's what I think. I would just chill. But before we move on, Jose, will you? And I mentioned this on, I think maybe the 4:30 show one day last week. Will you explain to people how the Ravens inquire about people? What do they do when they inquire about people?
So like they'll call the team and say, hey, what you want for that person? And before that team even finishes what they say, they just hang up. Like, yeah, we were interested. We were interested. It was just, so they said something. They said something about a pick, and we were out.
Then they go to their leak, whoever they leak with.
Ian Rappaport,
tell them what they did.
Dove Kleiman, yeah. Those three back. What's the name? Dove Kleiman. Dove
People are on his case. Whoever he is, or it is, or she is.
Yeah,
I saw the Sims talk about Dove Kleiman. They was like, "Is that even a real person?" both Sims talked about him on their show one day last week.
That's EDC's burner account, I guess.
Got one of them out there too. Next up on the list, and we kind of alluded to it a minute ago, there were reports that we actually offered my guy a contract. So I would think that wasn't us that offered him the $4 million about a month ago. And there were reports the day before that he was seeking 15. I don't know how true that is, but reportedly the Ravens have offered a contract to Odell, and now the ball's in his court to see what other people offer him, to see what's going on with Lamar, and to actually see what's going on with Aaron Rodgers too. Because I think what I saw was the Ravens, Jets.
And there was one other team. I don't think they named
the Rams.
The Rams. Yeah. I'll start with you, B. What you think about Odell going to Baltimore? If potentially,
I would be surprised if it happens, and I would not say at all that this absolves Baltimore from being the team that offered him $4 million. It just means they didn't formally offer him a contract for $4 million. They asked him, "Hey, $4 million, that sound good?" And he's like, "No." He laughed at them and hung up, and they were like, "Okay, well, we'll talk about it for several weeks, and then come back and offer you $6." But no, I would be surprised if he's there just because of the uncertainty with Lamar. Odell has had a really rough. Obviously he won the Super Bowl, but he tore his ACL in that game, so it's like it's been a really rough time. He got shipped off to Cleveland against his will to play with Baker Mayfield. I think he wants to go somewhere where he feels like he's going to be able to kind of try to get back to those Giant days. And if you're still in a standoff with Lamar Jackson, and it could be Tyler Huntley, it could be anybody else, could be Anthony Brown. You just don't know. And I think that he's probably going to lean towards playing opposite Garrett Wilson and getting the ball from Aaron Rodgers as opposed to signing in Baltimore.
The thing is about that is with coming off that ACL, that's the crappiest turf in the NFL. They like 8 games on it.
They redoing it.
They are? Yeah, because we lost 2 people that game, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
We lost the cornerback, Fuller, and somebody else.
Somebody else was there. I think what's his face? Juwan James.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy you forget is on the team.
Right.
But also, to be fair, those guys were going down anyway.
Jose, what you think about with that?
Yeah, it all depends on whether Lamar's there or not, right? I think, man, like there's this thought that players don't want to come here and play with Lamar. It has nothing to do with Lamar. I think a lot of wide receivers want to play with Lamar, right? Mm-hmm. It had to do with the coaching, but I think Odell would definitely come here if he knew Lamar was going to be here, because that's what he's missing, right? Mm-hmm. He's missing that type of wide receiver. He knows Lamar can get him the ball, and I think that duo could be legendary if it happened. But listen, man, like he's not gonna make a decision anytime soon, and that puts more pressure on the Ravens to try to get this Lamar deal done. It drives home the message that nobody wants to come here if Lamar ain't here.
Right. Mike,
I ignored it. If you, matter of fact, go to Chris Just Joking and look at his post about it. don't play with my heart with this one. Like I just ignored it. Like, it sounds good. We've been alleged to a lot of wide receivers, man, and it just don't pan out the way that we want. So if it happens, man, I'll welcome it, of course. But I don't trust it. Like Jose said, we allegedly want everybody. We were interested in everybody.
Ravens were interested.
Yeah. So, right now they looking good, right? EDC and them like, yes. Everybody's mentioning us as the top 2. We're in the mix of this, but really they know. They know that with the I hope it leaks what the true offer was. I'm sure it's on the lower end of what he gonna get from somewhere else, but I've just ignored it, man. We'll see. Look, if it happens, I'll be pleasantly surprised for sure.
Jonathan, my guy. I love comments like that.
We got McDonald's at home.
What you think about Odell?
I mean, so listen. For the most part, this is just a price grab for Odell. He's just using this as
price
leverage.
Grab?
Yeah, he's using this as leverage to up his price, knowing he's going to the Jets. He's just waiting for the trade for Aaron Rodgers. That's all he's waiting for. But let's just say, for instance, he legitimately wants to come play for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So what? Yes, is he an upgrade to our wide receiver room? He most definitely is. But this is his second. But this is his second ACL in 3 years. He's not the Odell of old.
Right.
He's not the Odell of old. So as I would welcome it, I'm not banking on it. He would be a great number 2, 3 receiver. He's not going to come here and star and be that 1,300-yard receiver that he has been. So if he signs, he signs. If he don't, he don't.
Bro, if he signed tomorrow, he's the number 1.
I think.
I mean,
we need more. But if he signs tomorrow, he is instantly the number 1.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I hate Rashad Bateman.
I'm sorry. I didn't clarify. Regular team's number 1.
I think if Lamar resigns and Odell is here, you're gonna see 1,300-yard Odell.
You
like look what
Rashad Bateman.
Like look. I mean, look what Lamar did. I mean, listen. I like Mark Andrews, right? But Mark Andrews ain't Mark Andrews without Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Like he not that type of player. You saw Hollywood go over 1,000 yards with Lamar. I think just the threat of Lamar, like everything he can do, Odell obviously can't be a focus, and be brought up Rashad Bateman. Odell could eat.
Mm-hmm.
He could eat here. I could easily see him getting 1,300 yards.
Me personally, 9 for me. 9 for him, maybe 11 for Bateman. But Chris, what you think about Odell?
I like it. It's just we've been conditioned as Ravens fans to just we know we're gonna be the bridesmaid. Like that's just that's we're conditioned for. Like I try not to get my hopes up, but I always do. I'm always like, all right, D-Hop, Odell, and I don't learn my lesson, but I gotta have hope sometime.
Right.
One of these years it gotta land. So
sure.
Aguilar.
Got DeMarcus Robinson.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it does come true, and because I think with that, and then hopefully they take a wide receiver early, and then I think you got a dynamic room like for now, and then also looking towards the future when you have Odell, you have Bateman hopefully healthy, and then you add hopefully a first round wide receiver or third round wide receiver, whatever it is, somebody within those first 2 picks. I think that's now you're looking up when it comes to that wide receiver room instead of having Sammy Watkins, having Deshaun Jackson, those dudes who, are like 20, in the league for 20 years. So hopefully they can lock him up. And then hopefully the other big thing is hopefully he can stay healthy. Right. That's the thing that everybody's glossing over. And the same thing with Bateman. For as good as I think Bateman can be, I mean, he hasn't shown that he can stay healthy. That's a big deal. I mean, we had Jimmy Smith, who was one of the best cornerbacks in the league when he was healthy in his prime. But that was the big thing with him when he was healthy, and hopefully this year, going into this third year, Bateman can clean that up because he wasn't a guy who was injured. He had COVID coming out and it messed with his asthma and stuff like that. But I don't really put that under the injury, category. But other than that, high school, college, he was healthy, and then he got here and under the Steve Saunders program.
Steve Saunders.
That's all she wrote. So hopefully he can stay healthy this year because I think he has a high ceiling and I think we only just got a little taste of what Bateman can really do.
Facts. Me personally, if you don't know, I'm an Odell fan. Like, been an Odell fan. Would love for him to play for the team that I root for. So I'm all for it, but that's from a personal fanboy standpoint. If Odell was to come here, we still need another speed guy. So he doesn't solve the deep threat option because he's not. I mean, he can do some 50-50 on some people probably, but he's a more intermediate route runner. Get in and out of breaks, get you 10, 12, 15 yards, and eventually, maybe hit some over the top. But he's not going to be a guy that is going to threaten anybody deep to open up the run game. So even if he did come, we still would need a deep ball person, whether it be from draft. And I don't know if anybody with the speed to even go to sign that could be a deep ball person. Because
wow, Coach Nelson Aguilar's just looking at you, shaking his head.
Ain't that how to do for the fireman did?
You didn't say anything about catch. You said speed. He's like, I got that.
Oh, yeah, he do have that.
Ted Ginn was brilliant at that in Carolina.
Hey, Rashad Perriman's still out there.
That he is.
Sure is. But before we move on, y'all kind of ignore flu game, Jew a little bit. He's a Ravens. He's a Raiders fan, but he's a good friend of mine, and we talk on a regular. We in the group chat stuff together. So appreciate you for dropping the 5 flu. And Lamar does not want to throw the ball to Tate Adams in Las Vegas.
I bet he does.
Enjoy Will Levis.
You know what? Never mind. I ain't even go there. We also got another super chat from Z to B. He says, sign Odell and Seth Roberts. Draft Brian Branch to play corner, and we know EDC about to cook.
Rather sign Julia Roberts at this point.
Right. But with that being said, I appreciate the super chat from Jew and Z the Beast, but there's a pinned comment in the comment section. And if you want to super chat, because eventually this option will be gone soon, you can click that link. It'll take you to my Stream Elements page, not Stream Elements, Stream Labs page, and that's how you can donate that way. That's the best way to donate. Or you can do it via Cash App. We can do it via Cash App, and that is not on the screen right now, but I get it up there. I also have
IvanEvans.
That's it. Let me get it up there before I forget. My old brain. Bam. There we go. But when I take that down, you'll see it. And also PayPal too, and that's Coach Evans 9, the way you do that. So I appreciate any of that. If you want to super chat that way, that's how you do it. And Cash Apps, if I don't get your Cash App today, I'll put your message up the next stream. But if you want to do it via tip, as I got the other screen up and I can see it right now. So I got to talk about Marco G. He did it. He says if the Ravens sign Odell, Ravens going to put him in the slot. He said slot corner, but I think it's slot receiver. And move Aguilar outside and then probably bring back Jimmy. So he did mean corner. Yeah. He said the Ravens sign Odell, put him at slot corner, move Aguilar to outside corner, and probably bring back Jimmy Smith from retirement to play wide receiver. So I thought he was messing up, but he was being funny. And so I appreciate you, Marco G. That's how we're doing it over here. And before we go on to the next topic, I want Hendo, tell everybody where they can find your information on the net.
Oh, you can find me at The Rogue Pod on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. You can also find me on audio form doing the same. Wherever you get your audio podcast from, that's where I'll be. And you can also find me every Friday night, 6 p.m. on Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway, talking all things hip-hop, most specifically old school hip-hop.
He clarified. We'll tell you why he clarified a little bit later.
I always do.
Yuri dropped another $5. He said, what's the excuse if Lamar gets a good wide receiver receiving core and comes up short in the playoff? There is no excuse there.
Nothing.
What's the excuse for Herbert and Burrow and all the other quarterbacks who haven't won?
All right, that was it. There is no excuse.
Only one team wins every year.
Was that a super chat? I
think also, we got to see the game too. Like, something crazy could happen in the game.
He's like, yeah, I don't care that he was 38 for 39. They still lost.
Right. He said, I think anybody but Randy Moss is bad. That's not true. I don't think Odell is bad, but why do we have to settle on just that? As Ravens fans, we always get that one option and we good. We don't get one option at cornerback. We never do. But when it comes to wide receiver, oh man, we just signed this one guy and we're awesome.
Like we were just about to pay Darius Slay a bunch of money, right? But on the offensive side, we want to get, what's left over. Because, yeah, Odell sounds great to us, but he's not the top wide receiver anymore, right? Hopkins is about to get cut. We didn't even want to give up a second round pick for Hopkins. Like, we like to play it cheap on the offensive side, but defense, we pay a premium. And to that question about, well, what if he falls short with less than premium players in the playoffs? What's the excuse then? Well, all the money's on the defensive side. There's no culpability to the defense. Like, we're not going to talk about how much we paid Roquan, how much we paid Marcus Williams. We're not going to talk about that. That's why we say defund the defense, because you guys don't have any expectations for the defense to do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
With all them groceries over there, they better hold people to 15 and under.
Facts.
And listen, once again, y'all not listening. I'm not saying Odell is not a good move, but why is it Odell and that's it? Why can't we get Odell, D-Hop, and still draft somebody? Why do we have to stop and settle? We never settle on defense, but when it comes to offense, we get one or two little pieces here, and it's, we're good. The defense will stop him. Will they?
No. Don't transition yet.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't transition yet.
Well, they talk about the Cardinals talking about they might, there's a rumor they might cut him. So we might not have to trade.
His price gonna go up if you cut him.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. You won't have to trade him. He ain't picking Baltimore.
Right. The best way for us to get him is
get them picks and get on the phone.
First of all, if we sign Lamar, DeAndre Hopkins is coming here. Because unlike Calais Campbell, he wants to win a Super Bowl. Calais Campbell, I want to win a Super Bowl, but I'm gonna sign with Atlanta.
Everybody trying to max out that retirement money. Hey, I don't blame him one bit.
He went down there to party.
I don't blame him one.
He went to Atlanta to party.
Next topic. And this is the topic from the show, from my 4:30 show every day. That's not every day. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I have a call-in show.
For now.
This
is gonna be 5 days a week coming soon.
Oh. We'll see. But right now, 3 days is enough. Because I ain't gonna even lie. After them 3 days last week, I was wore out. I couldn't even look at all the film I wanted to. I was like, whoo. Because I was pressing all kind of buttons, answering the phone, and trying to make sure the chat was straight, and my head was spinning. But it was fun. And the time go by too, especially when you had good callers. But can y'all see what's on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the stat I put up there. And again, it's kind of skewed because when I did it, this stat is based off of total yards,
right?
Not and some of the callers and the people in the chat box persuade me to look at as far as the points which is probably points per game is probably a better measurement than this, because a lot of teams are bend but don't break, so they'll give you a boatload of yards but then stop you in the red zone. So I am going to go back and kind of retool this list, and I'm gonna do it by points per game and just have it to present tomorrow. But do you think, Mike, defense still wins championships?
I mean, I think defense plays a big part in it, but at the end of the day, Philly had the number one defense this year, I believe. And how many points got hung up in that game? I think defense will get you there, right? But when you get there, you got to be able to ball, you got to be able to score. At the end of the day, you got to be able to score more than the other team, and that's just the name of the game. But I think, of course, man, it plays a huge part in it. It is a different NFL, though, right? Rules are changing. The corners hate the rules. You can't touch nobody. You can't do this. You can't do that. They're promoting scoring. So, a couple years before that, we saw, or not this past season, the season before that, we all seen the KC Bills game, and that was some of the top two defenses, and we saw how many points was hung in that game. So of course it plays a part, but when it's money time, you got to be able to put the ball in the end zone, man. So different NFL. Got to score points to win there.
Jose?
Nah, I agree with everything Mike keeps saying, man. Defense is important. Like nobody's saying you have to go out there with a bad defense. But all those top defenses, right? Philly in the Super Bowl, they also had a top offense. Tampa Bay won. They were like the number 4 offense in the league. Like those guys, like they stack up both sides of the ball, and I think that's what we need to look at, right? Not just one side of the ball. Like you have to have a more complete team nowadays if you're trying to win it all. Because these teams that end up in the Super Bowl, look at what they're doing to put together these teams, man. Like they're not playing around. They're dead serious. They're going all in on winning right now. And that's the trend that we need to start paying attention to here in Baltimore. Not this right player, right price nonsense, because they don't know how to price anybody.
Right. Brian?
No, defense doesn't win championships. And to Marco G's point, like I agree, you need what you have to have is situational defense. Get stop, like he says, key stops, be able to force turnovers. But no, defense doesn't win you championships because you're not saying you need situational offense. You need to score. And no matter how many points your defense gives up, the response is, well, why didn't you score on your last couple possessions? Right? It's always going to come back to the offense. And the other part of it is, now you're not always going to run into it's not going to be Pat Mahomes every single year. It's not going to be that kind of elite offense every single year, but
we hope.
Right. But great offense beats great defense
all day. My Steph Curry analysis. Steph can get around the 3-point line. You could D him up and stop his left dribble, stop his right dribble, stop his behind the back. When he take that step back and shoot it in your face, did you play bad defense? No. He just played bad offense. Endo?
Of course not. It's the thing that the Ravens fans love to hang their hats on, because that's what we've learned throughout the history of this franchise. If you look at the last 2 years, the number 1 and number 2 defensive had at least 35 points hung on them. But they're number 1, right? Defense wins championships. The 49ers in the regular season had Jarrett Stidham come off the bench for the Las Vegas Raiders. Lit them up. History, if you go back to the Ravens, I think on the show earlier, somebody spoke about, the 2000 Ravens defense and the quarterbacks, teams that they faced. So for me, and I've said this before, the 2004 Ravens and the 2006 Ravens defense, to me, were much better than the 2000 Ravens, just the versatility and everything they had. How many championships did they win? Because they were all defense. Those were historic defenses. How many championships did they win? None. They want to talk about Tampa Bay and KC. Listen, what was it? Devin White? What's his name? The white boy, 45, Tampa Bay.
White.
Devin. Okay, him. He was all over the field. But don't get me wrong. Patrick Mahomes made some throws where Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce were at the goal line and just dropped the balls. Even with that decimated offensive line. Last year in the Super Bowl. No, I'm sorry, the season before last in the Super Bowl.
Oh, was that the game when Mahomes was like sideways
and threw the ball, hit Tyreek Hill right in his helmet? The game against Cincinnati and the Rams in the Super Bowl. Cincinnati only had to stop Cooper Kupp. You have a defense that only needs to stop one person. Did they stop him?
Nope.
Because the offense was that much better. Yes, situational defense plays a key role in it because you have to have players to make those stops, get those turnovers. You look at Jalen Ramsey. He's regarded as most as the number 1 corner in the NFL. He gets beaten like a drum. Even Slay.
So the 7 for the Cowboys.
Oh, he did a lot better this year. But even Darius Slay. I love Darius Slay, but it's times when they turn him around like a spinning top. So defense does play its part. Listen, offense, defense, special teams all play their part. But if you can't score, you don't win.
Got you. And before I come to you, Chris, DDSQ issued us a challenge on the 4:30 show. I don't know if you saw it, but he said that the 90, I think it was 99 Tampa Bay team, did they win the championship? The Warren Sapp and all them, whatever that year was, they won a championship.
That was 2002, 2003.
One of them years,
2003, I believe.
He said their defense has a name, Tampa 2. What? And he thinks it's better than the Ravens' historic defense with the Super Bowl team. He thinks that's a better team, but he said our defense needs a name, and if not, they're the better defense.
So the 2000 Ravens team is called the NFL history all time scoring leader in defense.
Yeah.
Give it out to me.
Defense all time.
That's the name. Historic. So we'll just call them historic.
Chris, what you think? He said 99 Bucks, not 03. But Chris, what you
Bucks.
think? Defense win championships?
No, not at all. It's 2023. Like all of that is over. Like the glory days. Like you watch that the bullies, the 30 for 30 bullies and stuff. Those days are done. Like those days are over. You know, back when we had Discmans and stuff like that. Like all of that is done with. You know, you got to upgrade, and it seems like a lot of the philosophical ways that they want to go to is still stuck in those ways. And the Darius Slay, I love Darius Slay. Like Darius Slay across from Marlowe, that would have been fun to watch. There's nothing against Darius Slay. Just like I say, has nothing to do with David Ojabo. I like David Ojabo. It has nothing to do with him. I think he's going to be a fun player. He's going to be good to watch. I'm, fascinated to see how he develops. But what's up with
him? No worse than Migos with these ad libs.
I'm sorry, I zoned out for a minute. My bad. I was reading.
Go ahead, Chris.
But what's up with the offense? You know, you can't just pour all of these resources into the offense. And I get that they've drafted wide receivers, but it doesn't matter if you draft wide receivers and don't develop them. So you have to do both. You can't just say, all right, I drafted them. That's it. You know, our job is done. No, like you have to develop them and actually have a system in place to accentuate what they do best. And hopefully Todd Monken can do that. But we'll see how they go. I mean, they've been trying to do it, but we're going to see on the draft how they really feel, because if we see first two picks on the defensive side of the ball, then we already know what their philosophy is.
Yeah, Chris, I'm gonna tell you, if our first two picks, which will be first and third, if we pick defense, I might just turn the stream off.
I think the fact that we went after Darius Slay when we're trying to save every last penny says everything, right? Like they haven't changed.
Right. Mike, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hendo.
I was just gonna ask DDSQ. You know, you speak about these historic Tampa Bay defenses, and trust me, I know, because I used to love Tampa Bay back then. But when did they win a Super Bowl? Oh,
he said the year
when they got offense, right? Oh, right, okay.
Who was on the offense that year they won?
Keyshawn Johnson. Rob
Johnson. Was Johnson the quarterback?
Yes.
Brad Johnson. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brad Johnson. Yes.
Gotcha.
His son sucks.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my goodness.
Brad Johnson's
son, the quarterback at
he was at LSU last year. Well, not this, but like the past season, 2021. He was.
Because I watched the Keyshawn Boutte tape. His son was the quarterback. Yeah.
Oh my god, he was terrible. Holy shit, man! Go play golf.
Mike, what? Because I ain't did the bottom row yet. What do you think about defense? And does it still win championships?
I already went.
Yeah, we went.
Yeah. I was trying to. Why did they have me paranoid?
But I will add this though, Coach. I spoke about this on LBHT last week. This whole mindset and this philosophy that the Ravens have, this goes exactly to that arrogance that I said they carry. They still believe in that whatever happened in 2000, and that's just how they're built. Like, I love Ozzy, right? I love Ozzy, but I think Ozzy, let's put Ozzy in a nice house on the water somewhere, man. Give that man a nice retirement. It's time to get him out the building. Like, that philosophy has just stayed there. It worked, but it's over, and they're stuck in that, and it's coming off very, very arrogant that you feel like you can have a moment because you got lucky that year. I mean, don't get me wrong. Defensively, like you said, Hendo, historic. But to have that stretch of games where they didn't score a touchdown and things like that can't happen in today's in NFL. You are going to be done in today's NFL if that happens. So they got to change that, and that's a part of that arrogance that they have going on.
All right. So with that being said, before we transition to the next topic, Chris, tell people where they can find your work at.
They can find me on the Deep Cover podcast. I do that with Michael Crawford and Kerry Stevenson. We're about to start doing our mock draft that we do, where we go through a draft simulator and we make all the picks for the Ravens, and we kind of go through it like if we're in the Ravens war room, but we're making the picks. And then we also have the bracket show that we do with Coach, and we're gonna be doing that with Denar Melton too. So that's a good show. That's always fun to do every year. So
got to keep our streak going.
Hey, I was telling Hendo the other day, like I think we're like 4 for 5 or 3 for 4, something like that. But we've been doing good with that. So you got to keep it up.
Gotcha. And that's where you can find Chris, Mike, and Kerry, Deep Cover Podcast. It's gonna get heated real soon. Gonna get heated because that bracket show is fun every year. So before we go on, D Weezy donated $3. He says, "What's the excuse for Baltimore not bringing in a wide receiver, even if Lamar leaves?" No excuse. Zero. -0.
Wait, even if he leaves? Well, if he leaves,
because whoever the quarterback is gonna need all the help he can get.
Tank for Caleb.
Listen, you might as well go into full tank mode at that point. You're not winning. There's literally nobody that can get off the street right now.
Right.
That's right.
DDSQ donated. He says, "What's good, y'all? Love the show. You need a playmaker and a closer on defense, but you do not have to have a great defense." And he basically reiterated his point because he called him in the show and saying you need a closer. And the way he explained it, it made perfect sense. You need somebody that can close out the game, that can get you a sack, like Aaron Donald did in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Them last 3 plays, he was unblockable. Or you need a guy on the back end that if they got to put in the air, that he gonna either break it up or go get it. Or you need a linebacker that can kind of do a combination of both. Gonna get a TFL or something like that. Yeah. So you just need a closer, and I like Marco said, you need situational defense. And none donated $5. He said super high IQ player like Ed Reed can counter great QBs. Hopefully Roman and Williams can do that for us. Against Mahomes and company.
You can't have that as a strategy. There's only one Ed Reed.
I swear, you beat me to it. and Ed Reed have Ed Reed's instinct and knowledge.
And Ed Reed won 1 Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kyle Bowler counter what Ed Reed did.
He said, "Oh, you got to pick Ed? Watch me throw this one."
Right. So obviously we didn't talk about this a little bit. We didn't hit a miss on it, so I ain't gonna stay long on Darius Slay. Obviously, if you don't know, you've been living under a rock. Slay said on his podcast that the Ravens were this close, and you can't see my fingers right now. Hold on. Right there. They were this close from, he would have been a Baltimore Raven. They gave him what he asked for. I don't know the number he asked for. If any of my panel mates know that, you can go ahead and say it. But the fact that they were willing to find money, you know, Hendo? Oh, you changed the channel.
No, I don't specifically know how much they offered him, but he said that he was just wishing that Philadelphia would counteract that with the same offer, because if it was the same, he was staying. And I think Philly re-signed 3 for 42, 352, something like that.
I don't know what they signed him for.
No, is it 3 years for 52 million or 3 years for 42 million?
3 for 42, I think.
3 for 42. So essentially, that would have been around the same contract that Baltimore offered, because he was like, anything's the same, I'm staying here because I know Howie Roseman, I'm comfortable with him, so I'm gonna stick around. So, I mean, we all know teams can find money whenever they feel like it.
Right.
All of that. We only got $2 million under the cap, and we need to do this. It doesn't matter. They can make moves. Because listen, Ronnie Stanley, Humphrey, they've been restructuring their deal every year since they signed it.
2 years, $42 million.
2.
Sheesh.
What?
24 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Appreciate it, Brian.
True.
Hey, just so y'all don't know, if y'all weren't here 2 or 3 weeks ago when I said it, Brodney has the fastest Google account in America.
That Wi-Fi over there is sick.
It's jumping, man. His Wi-Fi is kicking.
I was just trying to load up the score of the game. I'm over here like this.
Right. Somebody said UConn sucks. I'm like, what?
Right. I had to check real quick. Yeah.
Mike, what you think about Slay and the potential giving him what he wanted?
Man, it just makes the Ravens look bad. right? All of this talk of, man, we got to hold on everything. We kind of, our hands are kind of tied, and behind the scenes, they sending them hey big head texts to defensive players. You know what I'm saying? So
like the one I sent to Kayla Williams.
yeah, it's just, so it just kind of made them look like they was dirty macking on the low. You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm with Chris. It would have been fun to watch, but like, look, wins enough. Like, you know what I mean? I get it. I absolutely get it, and I think honestly, we part of this we can blame on Jamar Chase, because I just think he has Ravens brass just running scared after what he did 2 years ago to us. So they feel like they got to get every corner in the world, but it just makes them look funny in the light, man, that he was this close. That man said this close, and he said they had the best offer, but he gave Philly a chance to match or come around that number. So it was at least that. It was at least what he walked away with. So they look funny in the light to me.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, you hear all these people talk about, well, they can't do anything because Lamar is holding them hostage, and it's like, well, he's not holding them hostage enough to get a defensive player.
Right.
If you can find money for that, then surely you can find money for the offense. And it's just like I said earlier, it's like, running their head into a brick wall when it comes to that wide receiver room. Like why are you so opposed to adding weapons to the wide receiver room? Like, it's not going to make you worse. It's not going to make your team worse. Like, you got to help your quarterback, whoever that will be, because there's no guarantee it'll be Lamar.
It's funny because even if you take this approach and just draft one every year, that way you never have to pay one. At least, and you keep throwing shots at it, because it's obviously you ain't gonna pay one. So you at least need a young whippersnapper to come in and produce, because wide receivers are coming into the league now polished, because they start with the 7-on-7 crap at 7 and 8 years old. So they coming in the league like NFL ready to run routes, to beat DBs, and they're healthy at young legs. So draft one every year. Make sure you draft one every year, and then you keep rotating, and you ain't got to pay them, because obviously you don't want to anyway.
Yeah, but the Ravens do that for DBs.
Right.
They pay them and they draft them every year.
It's crazy. What you do, Chris?
Yeah, I was
Jose.
Yeah, no, I mean, just like Chris said, man, like the mindset needs to change over to the offensive side, because the best player on the team, I mean, assuming we sign Lamar, is Lamar Jackson. So you want to give him every help that he needs to win, because ultimately, whether it's Lamar or whoever the quarterback is going to be, it's going to be on their shoulders ultimately to win games. Look, man, if we were this aggressive, we had everything we needed on the offensive side of the ball, I wouldn't have no problem with Darius Slay, right? But the fact is, we already put $70 million into Marcus Williams. We already spent a first round pick on Kyle Hamilton, right? Marlowe's got a big contract, and you want you want to we just pay Roquan a bunch of money, $100 million, and you want to spend more money for another 24 guaranteed, 42 total for another corner, right? Like, defund the defense. That's exactly what we're saying. Defund the defense. Why won't you let those young DBs step up? We always say on the offensive side, oh well, you
like our guy.
Yeah, Prochet just needs an opportunity. That's what you guys say all the time. He needs an opportunity. He could do more if he got more opportunities. Well, what could Brandon Stevens do with more opportunities? Carolina will give Lamar all the help he needs.
I just want to see B face when I put it up there.
That's right. Y'all know it.
But what will Pepe Williams do with more opportunity, right? Like, we can take that approach on the defensive side, and it has less of an impact because we have other good players over there if they mess up.
That's real though. Like, you got Marcus Williams, you got Kyle Hamilton, you got Marlowe, and it's like, all right, so give these 3rd, 4th round cornerbacks, put them into the fire.
Yep.
But in the wide receiver room, you don't have one solid, solidified, proven guy.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Thinking back on it, Pepe and JAD got just as much of an attempt to produce as Channel 3, if not more. If not more. And that's not me being Pro Shea Homer today. Not that me being Pro Shea Homer. They got in their rookie season, they got just as much attempt to see if they can produce. And you saw how I worded that be? Attempt to see if they can.
No, I saw how you worded it, because all James Pro Shea fans think that you don't have to earn your way onto the field.
I didn't say that. I said attempt.
Hey, look. All I know is y'all ain't had shit at wide receiver since the 20th century, and when James can't get on the field. So,
yeah.
Man, what you think about the topic? You getting off topic?
I don't even remember what the topic was, Coach. I don't know.
Darius Slay, how you feel
Slay.
about the moment signing Darius Slay?
I mean, like I'm not surprised that they would go after Darius Slay, and I don't even begrudge them going after Darius Slay. Just do the other part of your job. That's the real problem in Baltimore. It's not that they're picking, they're saying, hey, we've got $10, so we're going to give 9 to the defense and just 1 to the offense. So we're just picking defense over offense every time. You've got the money to do both. You just won't do it. So, I mean, go sign Darius Slay, but also trade for DeAndre Hopkins. Also go sign Odell Beckham.
So you like both. Endo, just do more.
Yeah.
Feel you. Hey, Jose and B, while we transition to our next topic.
So you just skip over me?
Oh, my bad.
Fuck me, right?
My bad. My name ain't Brandon Bazel.
Shots fired.
Golly, my bad here. Don't go ahead. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
No. I actually I would have actually liked to move for him to give him Slay. Like I said, I'm a big fan of his. And then when I saw him on I Am Athlete and just his mentality, I'm like, okay, he got a kind of Raven mentality. I can kind of get with this, but my only issue is the Ravens prioritize stopping some of the most dangerous weapons in the NFL. So in turn, why do you not put some of the most dangerous weapons in the NFL on your team? If you are trying to stop them year after year, it makes no sense to me how you can say we need to focus on shutting these guys down, but when it comes to us, we'll just let anybody go out there. And to the point of, we told him before last season, stop wasting Lamar's prime. Well, he's not his prime. Stop wasting Lamar's early years in the NFL with this. Let's just let these guys play and see what they can do. This is not an if and wait league. This is what can you do for me right now? So we told people, listen, James Prochet, Tylan Wallace, Devin Duvernay, they had all the opportunity in the world on OTAs, mini camps, and practices. Apparently they didn't show enough, but you want to put them in a live game and think that they're going to do something. Oh no, they just need an opportunity. But when Jalen Armour-Davis, Pepe get in there, what happens? Oh man, they just need time to develop. We need to sign some veterans ahead of them and let them develop. Why don't we get veteran wide receivers?
Why don't we have that philosophy all the way around?
Because we prioritize certain positions that aren't really that important in today's NFL. Because we think that we're smarter than everyone else with the moves that we're making. We're still in that, oh man, listen, y'all go this way, we're going to go that way. Even though we haven't been in Super Bowl contention in about 10 years. We've been in the playoffs. We haven't been in Super Bowl contention. True. These teams, no one's picked us technically except for maybe after 2020. After 2019 that we would possibly go to the Super Bowl, but other than that, we haven't been in contention because we can't score points. We go into the playoffs every year, and we average 13.5 points a game. And after every playoff loss, the Ravens' philosophy is, I know we only scored 13 points, but if we get more defense, it's going to be different next year.
Yeah, if we get more defense, we can hold them to 12.
Which is really crazy because you held Cincinnati to 17, you didn't win that game. You defense held Buffalo to 10, you ain't win that game. So.
Antonio Webb say on 4th and 4 to 6, they throw Wallace and Crochet.
Would you rather be, no, see, listen, you say rather be the Browns. Why do we have to rather be anybody? Why can't we just be a better version of ourselves? Why do we have to compare ourselves to somebody else? Why can't we just do better where we know we're doing wrong?
Wait, what comment are you looking at?
Why don't you rather be the Eagles? How about that?
Why would we rather be the Chiefs?
Well, the answer is yes. Yes. Wait until next year and ask that question. Yes, I would rather be the Browns right now. They have their quarterback on lock.
Better quarterback, better wide receivers,
got
better
probably the best running back.
Mm-hmm.
Got a decent O-line.
Better edge rushers.
Better secondary. Well,
nah, they don't have better secondary.
I don't know.
Who they got a receiver?
Who they got a receiver?
Amari Cooper. And then
they went right there.
Elijah Moore.
Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Peoples-Jones.
Yeah.
David Njoku.
Yeah.
On paper.
Yes, I'd rather be the Browns.
On paper.
On paper.
And on the field.
Well, they ain't did that on the field.
Listen, if we're talking about taking the entire group, hell yes, I'd rather have the Browns pass catchers than Baltimore's. Okay, Mark will show up sometimes when he feels like it, not in the playoffs, mind you.
As a whole,
but I'll take David Njoku as part of that group. Mm-hmm. Mark Andrews ain't winning playoff games.
This is true.
Chris,
I'm allergic to the ball.
About Darius Slay?
Yeah, you got me.
I hit everybody with Darius Slay?
Yeah.
Okay. Not Jose. And B, tell everybody where they can find your stuff.
You can find us every Wednesday night on the LBHT show at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. We follow that up with the Overtime Show, which you can find on patreon.com/LBHT show. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT show. And the three of us right next to me, east side, Ring Kings Podcast, okay, for all your boxing needs, okay. At Ring Kings Pods, we can find us on social media, and go ahead and subscribe. And we haven't been consistently dropping videos on Monday, but just keep your notifications on, and you'll get the notification when we drop a video.
Gotcha.
Wait a minute. What? Jeremiah come back with I knew it was Browns fans on the panel. You know what? You are factually correct. I am a fan of an organization that signs their franchise quarterback to a long-term deal, then turns around the very next year and opens up $30 million of cap space. With that contract that y'all said was so stupid, they just opened up $30 million of cap space. What did we do? We only have one quarterback on our roster right now, and that's Anthony Brown Jr.
If we don't sign Lamar Jackson, do you think we're going to be better than the Browns next year?
Or Tyler Huntley? Because they both can be gone.
I mean, even with Tyler Huntley.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I see a lot of fans that are still, they talking with their chest out right now because Lamar isn't technically gone yet.
Right.
But let him walk out the door. I'm telling you, next season, if Lamar ain't here, we're gonna be hearing a lot of, oh man, I ain't catch the game. I ain't even see the game this week, man. I had to go run some errands.
My number's gonna be bad.
Jeremiah, is next year 2012? next year 2002? Who gives a damn when they won in the past? We're talking about the future.
Yeah. And the thing about this is, hold
on. I'm sorry, Coach. Listen, I mean, if you really want to go to it, the Browns have 10 championships. Otto Graham won like 7 in a row. If you really want to get into what the Browns have done,
they don't count because they changed the name, though.
Know your football before you ask these questions. The Browns have much more championships than Baltimore does, even if you add in the Colts. So what have the Browns done? Let's stop living in the past, start living for the future. Let's talk about what's going to happen next year when Lamar's gone and we're running out there with Teddy Bridgewater. Who's going to be in 4th place? We are. I mean, we hope and pray Lamar's not leaving, but like your man EDC said, yo, when people ask for trades, we grant it. And what did you know, Jeremiah? You didn't know that Cleveland won championships. What did you know? You just know that you just keep throwing comments out there and hoping that they will stick.
Listen, history don't get you points. Like, it doesn't matter what we did in the past. That's not going to get us points. Since you guys had a Super Bowl 11 years ago, we're going to go ahead and start you out 10-0 in this game. You get a 10-point lead. That's not how it works. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter.
Let me ask you this, though, Jeremiah. Since you all about the defense and all this stuff, how many Super Bowls do the Chiefs have? And who's more likely to win one next? Baltimore or Kansas City? You tell me that. Because the Chiefs defense, it ain't good.
And it hasn't been good.
But tell what they do have. They got a closer. Chris Jones.
Yes.
Frank Clark.
They got a closer. Yeah. Frank Clark plays off Chris, but to DDSQ's point, they do have a closer.
Who's our closer?
We don't know yet.
You don't have one.
Potentially, it could be Roquan, but we don't know yet.
That dude got beat by the running back to lose the game? That's the closer?
Like, as much as
everybody gets beat.
Not by Najee Harris, they don't. Not in the pass game. I'm saying the closer doesn't get beat by Najee Harris in the pass game to lose the game for you.
Yeah.
Now, maybe had he met Najee in the hole, okay, yeah, Roquan might win that, but that's not how you close out the game.
True.
Yeah.
And just that ball was not thrown to Najee. It was thrown to the receiver. Najee just was tall.
We over here just with analyzing people's intent now. Analyzing intent now.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Listen, I bet you ask Kenny Pickett, he'll tell you he was throwing it to Najee all day.
He said right on the money.
He's supposed to.
Listen, coach.
Supposed to. Go ahead.
EDC had intent of drafting good players, but he
hasn't
hasn't done it yet.
On drafting George Pickens,
but he hasn't done it yet. So intent means nothing.
Yeah, he intentionally drafted Oweh, but that's another subject. That's another subject. So, speaking of, this came out last night for me. This is my top 10 wide receivers list. And I'll run it back real quick. I had A.T. Perry at 10 from Wake Forest, Marvin Mims Jr. from Oklahoma at 9, Xavier Hutchinson, who had I think led the country in not catches. He had over 100 catches. I think Charlie Jones led the country in catches at 110, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was about to say you're missing somebody from this list, coach.
Right.
I am not.
Charlie Jones at?
I am not. We'll talk about that in a second. I put him up there to fake people out, to pump fake folks. Quentin Johnson, number 7 at TCU. Jonathan Mingo at 6 from Ole Miss. Jalen Hyatt, Tennessee, 5. Jordan Addison, USC, 4. Josh Downs, North Carolina. I left my mark out, North Carolina. 3. Zay Flowers for Boston College, and JSN from Ohio State, number 1. Do you agree or disagree, or is there anybody that should be higher or lower or moved around on this list? And we'll start with, let me get this off the screen. Jose.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've studied enough of these guys.
Okay.
But I mean, listen, I trust your evaluation. I watched a lot of these film breakdowns with you.
Well, I will for you. I will tell you why Charlie wasn't on the list. Because when we watched that film, you watched it with me.
Yes.
He was never open.
No. Yeah,
he just had great hands.
Yes.
Porter Jr. and whoever the number 4 was for Penn State, it was all over him.
He's not shaking. He's not shaking anybody. He'll catch it, but he's not shaking anybody.
And what Purdue had him at outside, that was their mistake.
Yeah.
When he moved to the slot or was running stuff toward the middle of the field, he was breaking them off. But as far as trying to beat him down the field and whatnot, they was on him like his cleats.
No, I get it. I was joking. But Marvin Mims, is he related to Denzel Mims?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. But with Mims didn't have a lot of production, but you got to think about it. The quarterbacks left Oklahoma when the coaches left. I think one went to South Carolina, the other one went to USC, I think. So the quarterbacks left, and he only had 30-something catches, but had 800 yards.
Okay.
On 30-something catches.
I have another question about a wide receiver that's not on there, but I drafted him. Rashee Rice, is that his name?
Yeah, Rashee, or however you say it. For me, I think Chris talked about him too. He didn't get open a lot, but his 50-50 balls are more like 80-20 balls. Chris, what you think about was Rashee, however you say it, Rashee Rice?
Yeah,
I think you did a list like this too.
Yeah, he wasn't on the list though. I didn't like his ability to separate. A lot of the stuff was contested, and that's fine and cute in college, but in the NFL, that's a whole different ball game. If you can't separate in college, then you're gonna be in for a harsh reality. But I do think he could be a nice player, kind of along the lines of a Jason Avant, a big slot kind of dude. I think he could provide something there. But if you trying to have him come in and be your number 2, your number 1, I don't agree with that.
Gotcha.
And Coach, I just want to say, and I'm glad Jose asked that question, because I did notice that you held this list back until after the dynasty draft. And I also noticed that you drafted several of the wide receivers on that list.
That was going to be my next comment. My next comment was Rashee Rice about to be on the block, so if anybody's interested,
But I'm full disclosure. I thought the draft was in May. The reason being because I always remember rushing home from practice to try to get set up and get ready to watch the draft, forgetting that in Florida we start spring practice the last week of April, which is when the draft is. And if I'm not mistaken, was the draft in May last year? The first week of May?
April 28th, 29th.
Okay, so I was thinking it was in May, and I was kind of procrastinating on my list. And so when I realized it was April, like, hold on, I got to put it in high gear. And so that's what I did. After I finished the first 3 episodes of the call-in show, I had to get on it. So it wasn't. I didn't purposely hold it. I just was procrastinating, and then. But I did. The people that I did videos on weighed heavy in my decisions in the fantasy draft. So that part is true.
All I'm saying is, maybe had that list come out, I wouldn't have drafted something called Sam Jones and Dontavian Hicks.
Wicks? Oh, you mean Wicks, right?
Wicks, yes, yeah. Wicks. I'm sorry.
We said whatever.
It don't matter. I got some good news on him, but that's still. No.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would for the most part agree with your list, but the trainer for Njigba and Quentin said Quentin was hands down the number 1. And he said he trains both of them. And it just little nuances with his game for his size that he should be the number 1. So I think he should be possibly a little bit higher, but I don't really follow them college wide receivers like that, especially this year's draft.
Chris can back me up on this. He, for the most part of the season, the pundit said he was the best receiver in the draft. For the most part of the season, he was talked about as the number 1 guy. And I didn't see any of his games until the semifinals. And so I'm watching the game. I'm like, he ain't showed me nothing to be the best receiver until he caught that little drag route and gave the DB a little hezzy and then turned them afterburners on. I was like, okay, now you're showing me something. But I don't think he should be up there. What about you, Chris? You think he should be top 5?
I got him 3rd, but I understand the concerns. Like, if he can correct his hands, because he's shown, like in 2021, he showed he could catch the ball correctly and well, like he could pluck it out of the air. And then 2022, he just reverted back to catching everything with his body. And if he can correct that and go back to that 2021 version, then you add the fact that, he's a bigger receiver. I know he didn't run that blazing 40, but he's athletic for a big dude.
Right.
Like, I don't know why people are like, oh, he only ran this. It's like, no, he's still athletic. And you watch him on the field and he has quicks that other big wide receivers don't have. So when people don't have him rated as highly, I get it. I completely get it. But if he can hit, I think he has the highest ceiling out of anybody in this class.
Gotcha. Now, as far as him reverting back to body catching, I don't know if they change QBs. And if, that could play a huge part in it, because if you got a QB that's throwing missiles, you probably going to catch them with your body. If you got a QB that throws catchable softballs, you can plug them out the air. But if your QB back there like John Elway and rocking fire, you're probably going to use that body a lot more than you would, because catching the ball with a guy that's throwing super hard, that stretches them fingers, and that crap starts to hurt. That crap starts to hurt. And you may not consciously, realize that you body catching now, but them fingers gonna know what they doing.
At the wild, yeah.
And I think an important thing too that a lot of people don't speak about with him is he played a lot of the year with a hurt ankle. Like the first part, like if you look at his stats, the first part of the year, like first 4 or 5 games, like he was putting up Ravens wide receiver numbers. Like that's how bad it was.
I was gonna say what he wasn't catching.
No, and then I think it was like the Kansas game that he just started going off, and then you kind of saw him get back into it, and then he hurt it again, like he tweaked it or something like that. And they say he had like a hairline fracture in his ankle that he's been dealing with all season. So that's another part of the equation too. Like maybe comes back healthy and he's 100%. So we'll see with him.
Mike, what'd you think of the list? I throw it back up there.
Man, look, I'm with Zay. I ain't gonna front like I know all these dudes, but I do trust you guys. I think it's solid though. It's one guy missing, and this is just a homer in me. I need my man Rakim Jarrett on this list some kind of way. Thanks. I think Rakim Jarrett is going to surprise a lot of people. They got him looking like he's gonna go in the 4th round or so, and I think he'll be a steal around that time. But other than that, man, I'll take your word for it. I told Chris the other day while we was drafting, I was thinking of what you guys we got later in the rounds. I'm thinking of some of these player names that y'all was mentioning before I drafted. But yeah, I think out of the group, JSN is my favorite. I think when you go to what Ohio State is doing there, wide receiver, it's amazing. And then Jordan Addison. he kind of slipped on a lot of people's I guess draft boards.
You have to, and I acted like I wasn't gonna go back and watch his tape. Everybody was saying you got to watch his 2021. I was like, man, I'm not watching that crap, but I was watching it anyway. When Kenny Pickett, that son was different, Mike.
Right.
With little hands, man, he was different.
Yeah, and he took that NIL a dip and ran to USC, and
you know what, Mike? It looked like he played not to get hurt at USC.
He got his money and was like this. Done.
He ended up getting hurt too.
Yep.
It looked like it was a bad injury because I was watching that game live, and the way he landed on his ankle, it buckled, and I was like, "Oh, damn, it's over for him." But he came back like 4 weeks later, and that was a close call for him because it looked like it was over for Addison.
Rodney?
I already went.
Yeah, everybody went.
Yeah.
Could this be another Stephon Diggs type situation with Rakim Jarrett? What you mean?
I don't think. I honestly believe if it comes down to it, they will take him. I don't think.
No. I don't mean with the Ravens. I mean just going late, but he's much better than people realize. Just because he played for Maryland, and Maryland doesn't know how to use talent, and people are sleeping on him.
Listen, his hands are a little suspect, but that run after the catch, that boy is deadly.
Gotcha. Yeah. Before we transition to our next topic, Mike, let the people know where they can find you.
Man, look, I am OTR Mike, the host of Open Mic. That's right, man. That's the show where the mic is open for any discussion, no matter what it is, who it is, or where it is. Look, my job is to get a different side of these fellas that you see up here and other people. So I've done that, and I'm on the path to continue to do that with the rest of the guys. So go over there, man, and subscribe. I did hit 300. I appreciate you guys. Next up is 500. So as Brandon said, there's a vote. I got episodes in the vault, man. I've been busy. So the episodes will be coming. So go over there and subscribe. As Jose already mentioned, man, 1/3 of Ring Kings podcast. That's just the best boxing podcast on YouTube.
Thanks.
And if you're a casual fan, don't be afraid, man. We welcome you in because we just educate you on the game of boxing, man. We enjoy that. So go subscribe to that as we are on the run to 300 subscribers over there. If you have not subscribed, do that. Follow me on Twitter, OTR_Mike. I follow everybody back. Fellas, I'm going to need your help on this one. Unless you're on that list. Right. Other than that, I follow you back. And I chit chat. So, yeah, man, go subscribe, and I appreciate the support already.
The link to everybody's platform is in the description below. So you can, once this is over, you can hit that button. It'll take you right to that page. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified when they drop randomly. And just be ready. Be ready for this hot content that's coming because we going to take it up a notch. We definitely going to take it up a notch. Speaking for the 6 that you see right now, it's going up in 2023 and 2024. Definitely.
And listen, if you all want to continue some of these discussions, respectfully, of course, we all have Patreons that you can sign up for, and we're all in each other's Patreon. So no matter which one you sign up for, we can continue these discussions because I see a lot of you have certain opinions on certain topics. And even though we may disagree, no one's to say who's right, who's wrong. Let's continue it. And like I said, let's do it respectfully. Yeah. And, let us know how you really feel.
So for me, it's patreon.com/sip-the-talent. And that'll get you in my Discord. And I updated the perks today. So you can go and check out the different perks or whatnot, but I updated it today. Hendo, yours is patreon.com/ROUG. All right, that'll get you in the Discord, and you can look at his perks when you go over there.
Yeah, like this right here.
We can talk about that later. Jose, y'all's is patreon.com/LBHT
show.
Gotcha.
And Mike is getting his set up shortly.
Yeah, I saw a tweet right before we went live that's saying get the waiting list.
It's a waiting list.
What is yours?
It's /Open Mic with OTR Mike.
Gotcha.
Join the wait list, man, and you'll find out when it goes live. I'm working on all the tiers and all the things that I'll be able to offer you guys. But man, I appreciate you on that too. Go ahead over there and sign up.
And Chris got to talk to Mike to get their stuff jumped off. Right?
It's coming.
Y'all don't have a Patreon yet, do you?
It's coming.
It's coming. We're gonna see.
Chris got a Cash App though. He take a laugh tax. You can pay your laugh tax to Chris if you would like. You know?
What's the cash app, Chris?
That's linked to the number, so they can hit me up in the DMs.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there. Appreciate you, Jew, dropping $2. Say enjoy the stream. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for coming through, man. And this like Hendo. Remember we had that conversation about support.
Yes.
Jew lives in California. We never seen each other face to face.
Right.
But being here supporting.
It's always the people you don't know and that have not been closest to you for the longest. It's always them.
We met through Madden.
Oh, nice.
So,
Salute.
Appreciate you, Jew. Last topic of the night. And it's been all over TV all day long. It's ain't no gray area. Either you love it or you hate it. You can't see me. Baltimore's own Angel Reese with the John Cena. You can't see me. The Caitlin Clark, who obviously lied to America in that press conference and said she didn't see that.
Yeah, she's looking right at her.
She's looking right at her.
Yeah,
she's looking right at her. So with this being said, y'all know what's going on and like who said what, and I'm really disappointed in Keith Olbermann. I used to like Olbermann. I'm really disappointed. Mm-hmm. Keith Olbermann called her I think if I'm not mistaken, I quote, a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
For that.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he tweeted out.
And then apologized. Said, I didn't actually watch the game. I just saw a clip and
But I'm still right.
Yeah.
Right now, let you start with this. What you think about Angel Reese and what went on and the narrative and whatnot?
I loved it. I think Caitlin Clark got exactly what she deserved. And that's not to say anything negative about Clark. She's a great player, but when you talk trash to other people and then you lose, it's going to come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Caitlin Clark don't really care. She's just, like Mike had said on his live stream on Open Mic with OCR Mike. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All Caitlin Clark is doing is just, putting that in the back of her mind until she sees Angel Reese again. Now, it's probably not going to go any differently because I just found out that Angel Reese been taunting her since back in her Maryland days. But that's all right, though. Caitlin's a great player. She's going to keep trying.
Yep. The thing with Caitlin is she gonna get hers regardless. Because even though the little girl Mars's dad went to the same high school I did, and he was a what's the dude? He was DeMar DeRozan, the high school version. Anything around the free throw line, cash. Cash. Raymond Morris, cash. So she said something about stopping her or whatnot. You didn't really stop her. She still was lighting it up. The refs really stopped her, really, because that little run she did to come out of halftime, I was like, oh snap! That lead went from 17 to 8 real quick.
Hey, but the refs stopped Angel Reese in the first half too.
Sure did. She did. They stopped a lot.
Hey, coach, we're not gonna do the Ravens thing and talk about these refs. Because listen, when I tell you I've never seen in male or female basketball people travel so much. Every time Iowa got the ball, they travel with the ball and then start dribbling. Refs ain't calling at us. We're not even gonna talk about these refs.
They got a center that don't even dribble the ball.
Facts.
Twice all tournament. Jose, what you think about it?
I love trash talking, man. I love it, one way or another, and it's blown way out of proportion. Listen, man, I know people hate when we bring up the race element. We don't. Oh, you're playing the race card, guys. Yeah. What happened was, you had America's darling, Caitlin Clark, right? Nobody was this interested in women's basketball until she started lighting it up, and you saw somebody that could that could win it all. And she was dominating, and look, obviously she's great, and she's going to be great in WNBA as well, I think. But Reese spoiled the party, and a lot of people like your Keith Olbermanns did not appreciate that. They were all for the smoke when Caitlin Clark was doing all that trash talking. It wasn't just the you can't see me. She talking trash to other players. You down by 15, shut up. They liked her swag and all that stuff. They loved it. They thought she was going to do it again this game, and she got shut down, and they hate it.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize how much talking goes on in a basketball game.
Yeah.
When you're posting somebody up or or like when at the free throw line when you got your hands on your shorts and your head down, you ain't resting. You talking so people can't see your mouth.
Who was the team? Because I'm not gonna pretend I watch these games that much, right? I'm not a big fan of college basketball.
I will say this: I didn't watch a single dribble of the men's game. I watched about 4 or 5 games of the win.
What team was it? Do you remember when they were shaking hands at the end of the game and the one girl pulled the other girl to the sides like, yo, I'll F you up, yo.
Texas.
Yeah,
it was Texas and Louisville. So that's the
and Louisville the same.
Yeah, that's the girl she pulled. That's the girl. The girl that got pulled up is the girl that Caitlin Clark did the you can't see me to. Because the girl from Louisville talks cash shit. That's why she got pulled up by the Texas shooter. So
yeah, that happens. That happens, man. They're not delicate little flowers, man. Like they talk trash, man. Caitlin can handle the trash talking, and man, okay. I mean, if you're an Iowa fan, I guess you'd be mad. How many Iowa fans were out there watching that game, right? That out there tweeting.
Everybody who tuned in for the first time was an Iowa fan.
Yeah, right. But they're both coming back next year. I didn't realize that. So I mean, talking about ratings,
gotta be 22.
Yeah. I think women's basketball is about to overtake men's basketball next year in terms of ratings. Everybody's going to tune in to watch college. That. Yeah.
I'm a Carolina fan. I'm a Carolina fan. I don't have the desire to Tar Heels. I don't have the desire to watch.
Who are they? What seed were they?
Not seed.
Weren't they number 1 at the beginning of the season?
It's weird.
Yeah. Wow, the reason we lost that many games
Hubert Davis
is in the transfer portal.
Hubert Davis?
No. But we ain't talking about that. We talking about LSU. Keep it going. Mike.
Look, this of course it's an interesting thing. It's a shame that this is leading the charge out over how well the game, how well these players played and how good the games were, and like you said, Coach, how good the ladies tournament was as a whole. But look, man, trash talk is a part of the game. Angel Reese is from Baltimore, Maryland. Like, she don't know no other way how to play but that way. I seen Angel Reese play in high school, and she bust some shorty's ass, and she ran up in the stands to celebrate some shit. Some shit I've never seen in my life. Some shit I've never seen in my life. But she, that's just how she knows. She just knows how to play. She's been in the news all year about this. She was telling people they too small and things like that. It's a shame that we can't accept that women play competitive ball too. You know what I mean? And I'm a little biased because my wife is a basketball coach, and I seen what she did with this year. She coached at a different school, and when they played the school that she formerly coached, she was running the score up, and I told her, I was like, yo, you was running that score up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But they compete, man, and her players wanted to do the same thing for her. Look, ESPN, what a lot of people haven't realized as well, ESPN, who was at the forefront of, I mean, they were the first to clip that clip of her doing this, and they putting it out on social media. Yo, they ran a segment for Caitlin Clark. It was called something similar to something like
Queen of Clapback.
Yeah. So look, Caitlin Clark talks a lot of shit. She was, the South Carolina game when they was backing off Shorty, they was leaving Shorty at the 3-point line. She waved like, man, whatever, you ain't gonna shoot that. She talks shit. Yo, it's okay. Like, it's just what they do, man, and we need to accept that. But I'm gonna tell you something, Angel ain't gonna change for nobody. It's just what's ingrained in the Hendo. You can attest to this. It's just what's I don't know. They tease us and say it's lead in the water in Baltimore. It might be the lead, but
and in the paint.
But she right, but she's a flat out baller. And before I move on, let me say this. And I said this on my episode about this. Caitlin Clark, to me, is the best player, the women's basketball player in women's college basketball in the nation right now, to me. Anytime you can pull up from 30, 35 feet, you're a glitch. You're unstoppable. And she's going to eat. Like Staley said, look, man, we just want to make sure she get the she could get the appetizer and the main course. We just can't let her get dessert.
Right.
You know, but she going to school. You're not going to stop her. So it's none of this is a diss towards her. She can ball, but obviously you had two different reactions when she did it to when Angel did it. So man, let them girls live, man, and celebrate how well it's something like 10 million viewers for the game, man. The women's basketball game has come up tremendously over the last couple of years. So man, celebrate that, man, and start checking out some of those games.
Kendo?
Man, every time Mike talk, I'm like, yeah. And then he keep talking and he keep taking my points, and I'll be like, God damn. And then he keep talking, he take more of my points. And I'm like, God damn, I don't want to repeat everything he say. But coach, do you want me to tell you how I really feel though?
FTMF.
I mean, okay.
FTMF is how you really feel.
I mean, I'll tell him how I really feel. But for me, it's a love-hate thing. I love the fact that, like he said, women's college basketball has gotten so much attention. There were over 9 million people that watched that game yesterday. And sometimes I think that this drama, sometimes, it can be, scripted a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I think personally going forward, because everybody now wants to tune in next year to find out what happens between those two, which ones can take the title. So I think it's good for sports. What is it? Rick Bucher is the guy that covers basketball.
Yeah.
They were talking to him, and it was said that there were gender and racial components to this, and he was like, I get the racial components. I mean, I get the gender components to an extent, and it had to be explained to him when Allen Iverson stepped over Tyrone Lue, when LeBron James looked at Steph Curry, and he kind of big boyed him, and he was like, all right, I give you that. I don't see other things in it. For me, the racial aspect of it takes me back to the Lakers and the Celtics.
Somebody else said this too. Go ahead.
The Lakers were
go ahead.
But the Lakers were the all-black team led by the flamboyant Magic Johnson, and the Celtics were the white team led by no-nonsense, hard-working Larry Bird. And this is the same thing with the Iowa and LSU. You got all these black girls, and you got these white girls, and it was kind of a culture clash. So to me, I just think I got a little upset about this because it was low prick energy. You got these grown men calling little girls names. And I knew it was racial when people started coming out saying, yeah, she dumb, just like Lamar Jackson's mother. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? Where did Lamar Jackson's mother come from in this situation? But we know who we're rooting for who. But Caitlin Clark said herself, I play like the boys. I grew up playing around boys. And Mike, we know with Angel, when you step on that blacktop, male or female, man, woman, or child, when you step on there, you catching elbows, you catching trash talk, you getting treated the exact same. So when it comes to Caitlin or Angel, you know what I mean? It didn't matter to them. They're not worried about the trash talk because it happens all the time. Somebody tried to make a case, Caitlin did that 3 games ago against this team. It doesn't matter. You talk and smack the whole time. And the biggest issue I have with them calling Angel classless and saying she's this and she's that, it wasn't just about one game.
Right.
It's about her whole career being told you ain't worth it. You're ghetto, you're classless, you ain't never going to amount to anything. It's not about one game. It's about what this young black woman has been told her whole entire life.
And it'd be different if this was one time.
Right.
But she talks and she does that all the time. There's even a clip I saw today where when she was still at Maryland, she was right in a girl's face and she ain't talking behind your back. She told me, you ain't cut like that. So why you acting like that? And the girl ain't really saying, she's like, you not cut like that. So why are you acting like that? So it ain't like she behind your back.
Doing stuff. Right. Eye to eye. And like she said, I'm unapologetically me. And this is for girls that look like me, because unlike other situations, we are not sitting here saying, damn, this is the first time in LSU history they're celebrating a national championship. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about a school that took 9 transfers from the portal and won a title in their first year. We're not celebrating that because it's a team full of black girls. We're talking about, Angel Reese did this and Caitlin did this. I don't care who's right or who's wrong. It's basketball. And we don't keep that same energy that we keep for the men's game that we do the women's game.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but to me, if you look throughout history, and I mean the entire history of the world's greatest murderers, killers, and rapists, how you gonna tell me what class is? How you gonna dictate what the meaning of something is when all you've done throughout history is something else? So my thing is, let it go, because like that really pissed me off with the stuff that they were saying on Twitter.
Chris?
Yeah, I didn't watch a second of the game, but when I saw the clip, I was like, damn, like, why is that girl doing that to Adam Morrison? I thought he was back in college. But then I did a little bit of research and I saw she was a baller.
Just said Adam Morrison.
That girl is nice. She's nice.
I found out about her last year.
She a beast.
Yeah, no, I looked up her stuff and I saw last year she was killing too. Like, she's been a beast. So, but that's how it goes. Like, you know, you talk trash, that's what's gonna happen back at you. You know, you like, that's the game. And I think Coach said it earlier. Like, that girl Morrison, I forgot her name. She's not gonna, like, this is not gonna weigh her down. Like, she's not up at like, oh my God, I can't believe she did that. She's gonna use that as fuel.
Yeah,
right. Like that's what competitors do. They use that as fuel, and she's gonna have that. Like, probably gonna have that in her gym, playing on the loop, like looking at it. Like, whenever she gets tired, she's gonna look at that. And you know, it's a shame that, like Hendo said, you got grown men, mostly white grown men, you know, going at these college women and trying to, you know, call them out their name and stuff like that. And it's like, these women aren't even taking it like that.
Right.
You know, you taking it to a whole different place. And I bet if you ask that girl, what's her name?
Caitlin.
If you ask Caitlin, she's gonna be like, no, that's basketball, that's ball. Like, that's what we do, you know?
Thanks.
But the ones that didn't grow up playing, the ones that always want to add a little something extra meaning to things, you know, those are the ones that have the biggest mouths and want to be the most disrespectful. So, you know, that's how it goes. But I do think it's good for the game because so many people are talking about it. Right. So many people are talking about it. And I don't follow college basketball at all. And all I've been hearing about is women's college basketball.
Right.
So, you know, props to them. Hopefully they keep getting the viewership, and you know, it's really good for women's sports.
But I will say this:
you ain't lying.
Did everybody go on this?
I want to I just want to say what they coach. You funny as hell. Listen, so it was also said that, oh, you know, look at the style and grace that Caitlin showed. She didn't do that the whole game. And I'm sitting there like, she was losing the whole game. How you gonna be down 21 points doing this? I don't care what shot you made. You losing. Yeah. But if, you know, and then she just gave the cliche answer. Oh, I wasn't worried about that. I was, you know, just more looking forward to the handshake line. When the hell we ever seen somebody win a national championship? They still do the handshake line.
Right. Because the only people that shook hands were the coaches. The girls were still in the circle jumping around.
Every national championship, you don't see no handshake line. You know, she gave the classic answer, and the audience ate it up. Yeah. But yeah, you're right, Jared. They did. Them Iowa girls was rough.
It bothered them more than it bothered her.
Of course.
But I will say this: Caitlin Clark is probably going to be the best thing the WNBA.
Wait, I don't know, because my girl. I mean, I'm sorry, my girl.
I'm telling you, I'm saying this from a money standpoint.
Oh,
they're always talking about closing the gap, as far as viewership, as far as money,
right?
As far as as far as just all the different things that compare to the men.
Yeah. Oh, this is Bird and Magic right here,
right?
But what I'm Clark is going to do that because she is entertainment value for your buck.
Yes,
it's going to be an enormous amount of girls with Caitlin Clark jerseys on because she's doing something that's comparable to what the men do.
Yep.
She has the total package. She has the handle.
Mm-hmm.
She has the IQ because not only did she lead the thing in scoring, she led an assist too. Mm-hmm. Her outlet passes are awesome. Because her girl, I say guys, but her girls know just to run the center line, The ball's probably coming. And on top of all that, now I don't know how she ain't the greatest defensively, but you cannot guard her. Period. Like slowing her down is 25 points.
Yeah, that is true. But my point, Coach, was not her, and I hope Reg ain't still in here. But she's gonna have a run for her money because people forgot about that chick, the girl from UConn, Paige. She got hurt.
Yeah,
Paige,
she better than Paige, yo.
You say she better than Paige?
She better than Paige.
Paige the truth.
Even when they both played, because they came out the same, and what people that don't know, like they played on the same AAU team, which is crazy. But she yo, to Coach's point, like you got to pick her up at half court, yo.
Yep,
you do.
Because she's different. She can pull up like Dame, like Steph Curry, yo, she can literally pull up from 30, 35 feet.
Michigan and be pulled up from the M.
Yeah, and be cash money. I told my wife, and I know I think Clot in here say he's a South Carolina fan. And of course I was rooting, and you too, Coach, and of course I was rooting for Don Staley.
Of course.
But I told my wife, I said, yo, this is a game that scares me because when you got a player like that, you are in any game. Yep. Bro, I'm with you, Coach. She is going to be it because she matches and can play just like she's going to level out the game from that standpoint. What you gonna see her do is the same thing, like you said, you gonna see Carrie and them do, Dame and them doing. It's something I've never seen. And we've seen some great women ball players. But bro, the fact that Shorty, she got it, yo. She has it. She is nice, nasty.
I give it to Stephania Curry.
and that's what you do. But I'm gonna close with this. Gino Auriemma also complained about South Carolina. And the thing is South Carolina, LSU. What when you go play on the blacktop, Hendo, what's the first thing you got to do? What's your first character trait to play? To go on the blacktop, you got to be half crazy. But the main thing is you got to be tough.
Facts.
Second thing, you got to be physical, and that's what LSU plays. That's what South Carolina plays.
But Gino forgot that.
No, Gino's finesse.
No,
he was finesse. And he couldn't handle the fact that Don had 12, 13 girls that can come in and just stay physical the whole time.
True.
And he called them. He actually said it was football. That wasn't basketball that they were playing.
He's the biggest.
You're just mad because you're not winning anymore.
Facts.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't just. Ooh, I almost said something bad. Everybody ain't just jocking you off because you Gino Auriemma.
Right. That's one of the USA movie censorships you just did.
Hey, Coach, Shug said he sent you a stream lab.
Shug, you interrupted my point. No, you wrong. You're brony. I see it. I'm gonna get to it. See, you threw me off. Forget it. I got it. He should say. I tried to hit Hendo with the "you can't see me," and then he tried to take my chain. Hendo is a thug. Great show, Coach. Jared said some of those Iowa girls look like Nick Nolte. We were laughing at her. And then Will G dropped the 3. He says, "Great show, guys." Angel Reese says the player Sanaa Lathan was in Love and Basketball.
Facts.
Take that heart.
Yeah. Salute to you guys, man. Thanks for the donation.
So,
appreciate you.
With that being said, for me personally, you can find me here on Sip the Talent Films. Also, go over to More Sip the Talent because that channel is for the street.
That's the Angel Reese.
31 other team. Hey, that is.
That's the Angel Reese.
That is right there. And got some merch. I'm gonna throw it real quick. We got the athlete shirt, the beanie, inspired by Brodney, the mug, which Jose got. And hold on, Jose, throw that up. There it is, right there, live and in.
Look at that. Look how it bounces off the light. Look at that.
Look at that. That thing, nice, right
Man.
there. Woo-hoo, wee.
Water's still cold.
I bet you that vegan water will be cold in it too, Hendo.
It is. Listen, me and her drink. Listen, that's all I let her drink. Like they let her drink the juice and stuff. She and I, we get the vegan water.
Gotcha.
With the electrolytes.
And where is it from? Where'd you get it from?
I got it from Sip to Tally. What you talking about?
No, the vegan water.
Oh, I got it from one of them stores.
Lakes.
Lakes. You talking about the Lake Minnetonka? I got it from the water's the Lake Minnetonka.
And we also got the hat, so you can be like OTR Mike. You just don't have a flat bill.
Not yet.
Long as you ain't get it out to Baltimore Harbor, man.
Oh man.
But again, that's our show for today. I appreciate everybody for coming through. If you have not liked the stream, please do so. If you don't follow anybody up here, the link to do that is in the description. So please do so. Don't forget.
It only takes a second.
Yeah. Oh, that's all. It takes a second. Patreon. Everybody has a Patreon. We have a Discord. If you want to continue the conversation, Discord is the way to do that. In order to get into it, you got to be a part of the Patreon. I got a little surprise coming up, but I'm waiting on a package to be delivered before I tell you guys, and we'll work on that when that time comes. But again, like, comment, subscribe to everybody's up here. You got something the rest of the week with us, so make sure you tune in. Again, for me, tomorrow and Wednesday at 4:30, the call-in show. The topic will be up soon. Once I end this, I'll put it up. So go ahead and get your comments in up under the topic, and that way you can have a chance to be one of the Jane Doe comments of the day. So, Mike, speaking of, you tried your Jane Doe yet? Tell me about it.
Look, I haven't, but as soon as we got the package, my wife, it just happened that my wife was like, my knee. I was like, got something for you. And she loved it. I tweeted about it. I don't know if you've seen it, but like my wife instantly was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, I feel better. Oh, and my mother-in-law will be putting in an order soon. She asked for the information. I gave her the website. So yeah, it's that business. I know Chris said he was looking into it as well. So yeah, I appreciate it. Tell the wifey.
Will do. I tell you, for me, when you start working out and when you first start working out, you had them sore days where your body just, when you first start back, it helped a lot. Now, it helped a tremendous amount to get through that sore period, of working out. And then when my knee flares up, I throw it on there, or any kind of ache in my back, and then I'm good. I'm good.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody for coming through. We're gonna run this up, and we are actually way over the time allocated by Brian today. I'm sorry. but we out. We out. We're gonna talk about that later. Y'all hold on for a minute. I want to ask him something.
Yes, sir.